Okay, where you want the bar, you want it basically coming right by your nose and only coming to the top where your lips are. As you can see, my arms are pretty much at 90 degrees and I'm not going any below that. The reason that is, this is the #1 culprit of me tearing my rotator cuffs when I was younger. So I used to lift extremely heavy on this. I used to go 4, 4.5, sometimes 5 plates a side. Felt amazing when I was super strong and young, but then I started tearing rotators. Done it 3 times, 2 on my left and 1 on my right, and it was all because of this particular one. So, and it was because I was going below that mouth level. So I used to bring it all the way right down to my collarbone, which again, felt amazing at the time, but not so amazing when I started to tear my rotator cuffs. So, bringing it down to right about here. Don't go to lockout, go just before lockout. So it is a bit of a short motion, but once it's loaded, that is basically where you're gonna feel most tension. Right there, right there. Because if you lock out, what you're doing is you're basically engaging your triceps into it a little bit more than your shoulder. So only go right here. From my experience, and like I said, that is where I tore my rotator cuffs. Anything below the lip level, you can go down to your chin, depending on your flexibility, but anything below that, you're asking for injury. Again, you can do it your way. Don't take my word for it, but if you have any sort of strength and you're doing any sort of weight on this, you're gonna tear something. That's just a lot of people that I've known over the years. It's either been flat bench or Smith machine shoulder press have been the 2 culprits. And for me personally, it's always been this particular machine that is giving me my problems. So, and it's because I was lifting so heavy and going below that mouth to chin level. So be very leery of this exercise. It is great for shoulder development, but you got to be very basically conscientious from what you're doing and the rep range that you're doing. So it is kind of like a partial if you think about it, but I'd rather people do this in a successful way and get the growth out of it than do it in a way where you're risking injury. So I've done the heavy weights right down to like 4 or 5 reps when I was younger, and that's when it led to injuries. Nowadays I go a lot lighter, so I won't probably go above 2.5, 3 plates now. 3 plates very, very seldomly. I usually stick around 2 and just rep out. So I do sets of 15 to 20. Still getting a good pump, still feeling it, and basically I would superset it with like a side lateral if I was doing something like this, because the rep ranges are so high. Sets wise, you're probably looking at 4, maybe 5 sets for myself. If you're someone that's going to go a little bit heavier and tend to go on the low rep side, like the 8 to 10 or even down to 6, I'd recommend 4 because you don't want to start off with the heavy sets. So have a couple of feeder sets, 3 to 4 working sets in that regard. But again, be very, very careful if you're going extremely heavy with this particular exercise. So give it a try your next shoulder day and be careful.